So here we are. We're ready to talk about the book of Genesis. I have to tell you that the book of Genesis is not a textbook. The Bible and science are concerned with very different things. So it's not helpful to pit them against each other. What the Bible tells us is the Bible doesn't tell us how creation began, but who. Who put everything into motion. And everything was put into motion by God. And Genesis is a book that is filled with stories of where we come from. It's not only about creation, it's about people making mistakes, starting over, and how God's chosen people came to be. See, you'll read in Genesis that we are co-creators with God. God makes us, you and I, men and women, in God's own image, which gives us a divine charge, which is be fruitful and multiply. What does it mean to be God's chosen people? And how do we live our lives in such a way that we reflect who our God is by how we live? That's a key question for us today. As Lutherans, as Christians, as people of Grand Island, Buffalo area, New York State, in the world. How do we live in a way that honorably reflects who we are and what God has called us to be? So, in particular, I'm going to ask you to read Genesis chapter 1, in particular, focusing on verses 26, 27, and then chapter 1, 28 to 2:4. The other thing I would like you to do is I would like you to go to Genesis chapter 12 and read verses 1 to 3. This is the call of Abraham, and it is through Abraham that God's family began. Everything before Genesis chapter 12 is known as prehistory. But with chapter 12 in Genesis, we start to get a timeline and a lineage and families. We start to meet individuals and learn their stories, their successes, and their mistakes, just like us.